whoa, how are they losing to this random mixed team? What's going on? You know, and all this kind of stuff. And it was kind of the beginning of the end, so to speak, for the great historical lineup. So kind of funny that we mention it. We bring it up when they are, you know, playing against each other once again. But this time around, you know, it's this Swedish side. The Swedish side with so much firepower that really could end up taking some big names here. I feel like this VP have been looking better and better. You know, they're not quite at their lowest point. They are on the up once again, and I mean, we'll see. You know, snax being back in the lineup is always exciting for me and has been looking good recently. Either way, we're into the pistol. They're rushing in towards B. They've got this banana control fairly easily. However, they've got the USBs to get past, and they've got a fair amount of utility to use. Going to opt to use it. However, we've had this little one-for-one trade, so we'll see. We'll see. Area's smoked out, but the CTs have rotated so very quickly. It's been such a transparent kind of hit. tabz coming in with the spam. Draken going up high gets taken down. Freddy's nearby this smoke. You know, the CTs are in very quick tow. They've made it through banana as well. So freddieb, too many Freddies on this CT side at the moment. And well, it looks like VP are trying to do something about that. It all seems to have fallen apart. This 3v3 was looking good, but now the 1v3 for FREDDyFROG. Surely not long for this world. He peeks into one and actually ends up surviving. So he's given another bit of a chance here. A lot more time to play with because there is a kit somewhere. Oh no, that's so unfortunate though. He has to go charging forward, and snatchie had baited out his teammates perfectly. It's a little bit closer maybe than they expected it to come, but all the same, it's the first round on the board for VP.
I love that adjustment from snatchie. He knows he's shown presence over towards the new box, so he just slides on over to emo, sneaks his way in. Player knows he has to force the issue. FREDDyFROG has to get that kill immediately, so just charges the position he knows a CT was in, assuming that he's playing conservative, assuming he's not going to peek. Boom, blindside shot, never a chance to even fight it or fight back. Really nicely done. We're going to see some deagles purchased up. It is going to be the force buy from the CTs for the second round. They're looking to be a spicy pepper. They don't want to go down without any fight, knowing that they only kept one alive there. Feels like this is vital. Of course, it's completely different story with guns in hand. It's just going to be 4 MAC-10s for the majority of the VT side. Here's a spot of a stack. DHR getting a lot of information off of that. And interestingly, they want to execute. They know both players are pushed in towards CT. So I thought they might actually go through the smoke, but they're going to hesitate. They're going to slow up. Now, there are some reinforcements. Draken's coming back with another smoke. That's what they've brought in, is the extra utility. They've actually just rotated Relaxa and Draken to make sure they had another smoke on site. So they're just going to keep this smoked for as long as possible and run that clock down against Virtus.Pro. And that's a really nice strategy, because then you put the panic into them when they start to actually come through. If this gets even further down and no one's felt presence towards A, maybe bring an extra rotator. That utility might be the indication. But here they go. They are going through smoke. They were going to do it eventually. The bomb has now been dropped, so that's definitely a confirmation as they come through. Draken is just going to be ripping heads. It's all going against Virtus.Pro. They can't get anything going here. They're just blinded before they even get a sight on an opponent. They're all dead. Wow. They have just been annihilated on entry to the B bomb site. Couldn't get clear vision on anybody before faltering. They sort of hesitated and moved one by one when you really do need to rush that smoke en masse if you're going to do it. And he who hesitates is lost.
Yeah, absolutely demolished, weren't they? Like, you know, Draken looking really good. And that's kind of the issue where you're like, okay, we know the mollies here. We've got our execute 4B, but they've not really created any pressure anywhere else. They've not kept the CTs guessing and, you know, drawn rotations, or at the very least kept players on the A bomb site, for example. And then those pesky B smokes, man, if you don't respect them, it's actually really difficult to just go barreling through a smoke into 3 deagles, as was proven there by VP. And now coming into this round, slightly harder to make the same thing happen on that T side, right? They're trying to rush in with deagles of their own, not working out. tabz is just cleanly spraying them all down. Set to maybe get an ace. Going to get doinked by the nade, though. You heard that just hit him before it ended up taking his life. So not quite, but it should be pretty much everything in this round. Yeah, sorted, all done, all cleaned up by Japaleno. Really good stuff. We'll see.
I was just going to say, I love the fact that they're just using their utility so conservatively, rotating players around to continue to keep that pressure up. Obviously, you didn't see it really in that round because it was just kind of annihilation on the part of tabz, who, by the way, just to keep track, has already gotten 2 kills spamming through smoke when they cross onto B. So see if he keeps doing that every round. It'll be truly a nuisance if he continues to get kills in that manner. but a little more timid for Virtus.Pro this round. And can you blame them? They've just got Glocks, but they're going to just take it a little bit slower and maybe see if some aggression comes out from the Swedish side that they can exploit.
It's definitely curious, isn't it, how you kind of respond to these early shaky rounds, right? If you're a little overconfident with it, a little too aggressive, a little foolish in a sense, if they keep kind of buying up, keep playing this super aggressive style, can definitely come back to haunt you. Now, I think most teams would eco this one out, right? But it's going into the next round where, sure, they're going to have the buy comfortably. That's not the issue. The issue is more the fact of how do you work that buy? Because we've seen in these couple rounds, right, where they've had sort of an upper hand or a chance into it, not where it's like the even playing field of the pistol, but obviously winning the pistol the round after that, and then the round where they force bought number 3, right? Just a lot of, as you kind of alluded to, pushing through that smoke, hesitation. A lot of kind of 1 or 2 people will be like, yo, let's push this. And then the rest of the team's like, okay, I guess we're going in then. Okay, you know, and it's a little messy. So I think that very, very quickly needs to be brought out of the Virtus.Pro side. They need to get rid of it, you know, just kind of throw it out the window and come into this round, the first official rifle round, a little more methodical, a little bit more strategic, right? Which is what Inferno as a map hands itself to. Something a bit more patient instead of just a quick, aggressive rush into a bomb site that's all very staggered and unsure.
So they're going to hang back this time, and it works out. Vegi catches out Draken, getting a little too aggressive in the apartments. So that's a nice pick to start things off. Might apply a little bit of pressure to the Swedish squad. And now they're just going to sit. They're going to wait. Looks like they'll take some control towards Banana, and this is the right read. There's just going to be FREDDyFROG here, who's slowly spacing out his utility to try and do his absolute best job of persuading them that this is not the site they want to hit. Molotov through. Here's going to be the swing. He's been spotted, but only him. The question is, was that one kill enough to dissuade them from this take? Not yet. They're still inching forward. He may not have sold this. FREDDyFROG doing his best. This is like trying to create the illusion that there's multiple people here. He's putting up phantom dummies. He's driving in the carpool lane with 3 mannequins in the passenger seats. He's just trying to convince them that A is the ticket, and they are not buying what he's selling. So FREDDyFROG gonna have some serious pressure here. Probably gets one more, to be honest, which makes the retake likely viable for his teammates. But it's going to be a chance to get anything else. He's blinded and still somehow converts one of the kills, just spamming at the right time. So that's well done from FREDDyFROG in a really tough situation. But now the bomb's going to be planted fairly open. This is a tough retake. They've got a couple of flashes, a single smoke to get back through, so they can smoke off Banana and then be a little more confident in their taking towards the site itself. Nice nade onto snatchie. To be fair, it takes a little bit of health off of him. Gonna leave him limping just a bit into this, but I don't know how much they want to commit to it. They've got the money, and now they go. Through the smoke it is. Virtus.Pro all hanging back, waiting for them to come around the corner, and here's going to be snax. First point of contact. freddieb trades it out. Flashes through, and snax dealt with. The time is so low, though. snatchie has won. He's likely won this round just dancing around. No, he can't survive, but the bomb will go off. Not enough time for freddieb to get this kill through, to get this defuse. It will be a detonation in the second round for Virtus.Pro, but no one's surviving. No one's surviving.
Yeah, troublesome for sure. And as we see immediately coming into this, already 2 UMPs are bought up, so that utility 3, in fact. All right, I guess they're all just the UMP squad. I think they probably could have got some AKs in there, but opting to go full utility, even Mac 10s, I don't know. On the CT side, I can see the UMP, but I think 4 of them, they are maybe, as we say in the UK, taking the Michael somewhat. We'll see. Either way, the play is utility plus SMGs, hoping for a high success rate here. A good little 1-for-1 comes through there. Vegi will trade up through the smoke, though. Draken, he knows his angles. He's so clean with it. Of course he does. The star AWPer of this side is going to have to do most of the work for them, especially because most of the squad's fallen on that A-bomb site. The A-bomb site itself going to be given up. An AK and an M4 retrieved now, so some slight upgrades in there for a couple players on this here T side. And they're somewhat trapped out, right? They've got a player coming through from middle in the form of Relaxa. This double up setup, actually, hadn't quite noticed that. It was also fast, but double up setup not going to be ideal on the retake. And Draken as well is just waiting patiently, hoping to spot some players off guard. Not really looking like it's going to be the case. So as the clock ticks away, Jalapeno are just kind of left doing whatever. 10-second timer, they're saving, I suppose. They're not going for it at all. They're not feeling it at all. So this is a somewhat unexpected end to this round. VP just kind of charging in with the SMGs, and it works out.
Works out beautifully. Double up is safe, to be fair, so that's definitely worth keeping up. But I'm surprised, based on how aggressive we've seen the Swedish side be previously, that they didn't want to test this a bit more. The kill through smoke for Draken, I thought for sure would be the invitation back in. By the way, that's now 3 kills through smoke, I think. This Japaleno side really confident in their angles, loving to go for that spam through smoke, and it's worked out quite well for them. So strategic risks there in terms of taking the shot, and expect to see more of it. FREDDyFROG now on the tight angle. They've got the AWP and the M4 watching one angle. Secondary AWP taking in a very aggressive peek and punished. Draken has dropped. That is now 2 times that he's lost his life in this position. But freddieb bring back the kill and bring back the rifle. He's going to try and get away from it. They are hunting him down. He'll be in towards the pit. It's going to be a tough spot to play from. freddieb needs to come up big to be able to control this, and a molly in is going to make his life all that much more difficult. Still a kill found. Again, flash blooms. Kill still comes through. He's not long for the world. It is going to be a bomb plant. And this is going to be a tough decision to make about whether Relaxa and FREDDyFROG want to go for this. The rotation from bottom banana is going to take a while. You can see FREDDyFROG already getting into a safe position. That should be your indication about what's happening here. Relaxa's just looking for a free kill, and tabz is moving to pick that AK that was dropped up in towards the apartment. So this will be a nice buy going forward for them. But I don't think... Well, never mind. Apparently they're late on the scene, but they're sticking around. So much time's gone off the clock. I can't imagine they want to go for this now.
Yeah, this is a bit unsure, and I think, again, it's one of those scenarios where they themselves are a bit unsure. Maybe if they caught someone in the apartments or, you know, someone getting aggressive into that AWP, but VP not taking any chances, playing it cool, calm, and collected. This is what I was talking about as well. Oh, so many rounds ago, and they kind of let it slip slightly after the pistol. Play it patient, play it safe. I think they got a bit greedy against the pistols. It's like when you know you see those B smokes come in, you're like, all right, there's a possibility there's 2 or 3 at the very least on the other side of the smoke. We know we shouldn't really be doing this, but can't really be bothered to go back. You know what I mean? Like it was their whole game plan at that point, and I think they learned their lesson the hard way. And are now not making the same sort of mistakes again, right? Playing it really well in the past few rounds. Japaleno has yet to win cleanly with the rifles, so we'll see. They've got quite a few rifle buys out, considering that it's not been going very well for them. So there has been a lot of save scenarios coming in from the Swedes, but they still need the rounds on the board ultimately. And we're about to see a bit of action here in Banana. That's what I was talking about, that aggression from PHR. However, it pays off. I think MICHU would have found both of those, but it's snatchie through the wall bang to get one as well. So 4-on-3 coming in, weakened B bomb site, a lot of utility expended from the CT side. It's all going to be onto Draken to hold things down. Finds the first. Those kind of issues again, sort of showing, right? Because MICHU is way ahead of his team, but it pays off for vegi on the other side of the map. So it's like it's being kind of shown in its worst light, this aggression, and then it's also being shown in its best light because they've opened things up in places and then also, you know, lost men in other places. So we'll see here. I think this 3v2 probably just the CT side going to save.
No, 2 or 3 rounds in a row where we've seen this wind up being a save for Japaleno. So that early fire they had maybe being extinguished a little bit, and you can just see the economy is going to be a little shaky here. FREDDyFROG should be able to buy. tabz can likely drop one provided he survives. Draken should be able to do the same, so they get something going here, but it's going to be a bit limited. And that early aggression out towards Banana, they get the kill. The problem is just then the 2 players stick around, right? They want to continue to fight because they found so much damage, and they falter as a result. You kind of want to get that pick and then just fade off of that angle immediately, maybe even having the 3rd player drop a smoke to cover your escape. They just aren't afforded that luxury of the retreat. So it is going to be another round for Virtus.Pro. Starting to stack up here. 5 on the board. They're righting the ship after the early shaky rounds. And Japaleno going to do their absolute best to contest in this round. They'll get something fairly decent up. And they'll have the op as well. Actually, good utility as well. So the save call there, quite a good one in terms of keeping this conservative, keeping yourselves clean so you have the absolute best chance to contest in the next round.
All right, well, here we go. We'll see. I'm going to try again this banana aggression. So probably another bloodbath if the T's bite into it. I mean, last time they actually ended up winning it, but this time they're opting not to go for it, not fancying it. Just that nice slow play, you know, that you see on Inferno quite a bit, baiting out some early utility from the CT side of the top of banana there, and then kind of working things back towards A. And it is that keeping the one player who plays long, who plays kind of the CT area in between the sites. Draken is somewhat caught off guard as well, almost goes down, 12 HP coming in for him. Definitely very lucky indeed, and now it's an AWP trapped in on the A side on low HP. Oh, quick little flick there from Veggie. Takes him down. The pit players are going to have to go absolutely huge. They're trying their damnedest. They picked up 3 between them, but now it's all on to FREDDyB. Gets traded back. They have at the very least kept things even, right? After Draken having such a messy start to this round, not able to find anything at all, they have brought it back into a bit of a doable situation. Now it is once again a pit take, but this time the other way around.
They've got a Molotov as well, which is most critical here. FREDDyFROG has a Molotov, losing Relaxa before he has a chance to put that out, though. Gonna make this a little more difficult. Now they know exactly where he is. He's in towards Moto. He's gonna dump that molly, but it doesn't matter. He's not covering off the opera, and that was really the one he had to force out of position. So they had the utility for that take, but it was a little disjointed from the Swedish side, and you can't leave those exposed gaps. They will exploit them every day of the week. So Virtus.Pro take advantage. Their pit hold is never really that contested, and it's just nicely played in the post plant. I thought with the Molotov for sure that was going to get a little bit awkward. You probably hoped that was on the lane player instead of the pit player, but you got to work with what you got. That just doesn't quite end up well with them. Or rather, the lane player instead of the moto player. FREDDyFROG going to get aggressive. We've seen this aggression out of apartments a couple of times now. It has worked maybe 1 for 3. So success rate, not fantastic, but you do like the idea. Try and get bold with the deagle. Try and take something here. Relaxa going to be next point of contact. Is just poking around towards the top of the banana. There was a stack. They've fallen off of it. But there is still a PHR who is ready to claim his life. Should likely do so in a moment. Draken has gotten a kill elsewhere on the map, and that's a rifle to play with as well. But at this point, it's likely just kind of about saving this. They will have a buy in the next. But it's a 2v4. He doesn't have armor. tabz is stuck in towards the back. And Virtus.Pro has just found a lot of free real estate over towards A.
Yeah, looking good for them to kind of clean things up here, I think. But at the same time, CTs can be slightly happy with the fact that an AK is going to get saved over here. And tabz has not taken any damage, can upgrade his head armor for that 350. So, silver linings, but VP solidly looking really, really good now. You know, this is getting slightly worrisome. For the CT side, they've not really picked anything up off the back of, don't want to say the pistol, but kind of near enough, right? Off the back of the slightly random round that they won. And credit to them, they did a good job of doing so and exploiting the mistakes that VP were making. But once the rifles have come into play, VP have looked a lot more dominant, right? A lot stronger here on this T side. And I don't know, it seems like a bit of a confidence thing from Japaleno in the sense that, like, so many safe rounds. Veggie went down to the bomb there, which kind of threw me off. So that's awkward. But they've got money to buy back up. Just don't let it happen too often. But yeah, they're just saving an awful lot. When it comes down to the retake scenarios, it doesn't seem they're as confident, as clean as they would like in those situations, and it is really costing them. It is costing them massively at this point because VP are getting a lot of easy rounds. You know, they find 1 or 2 clean entries. That's all they have to set up. They don't have to worry so much about the post plant. So Japaleno trying to play the super pick-based Counter-Strike, and it's working against them.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Now, FREDDyFROG all alone on B. They've been doing this a lot. They've been leaving the one player towards B, hoping that the utility would be enough to sway, and that's going to be a big pick, though. Catches PHR. Might trigger the rotation back. It's not going to. What's interesting to me is that Japaleno keeps sort of assuming that when they get that initial pick, it'll push the banana presence back. And Virtus.Pro keeps being so stubborn that they're just like, all right, we'll just wait a little bit and then do the exact same thing with more players. And it's honestly working for them. Here's going to be the cross smoke. The molly will go in to presumably slow them down, but there should be a smoke to cover that off. Waiting for the footsteps. FREDDyFROG patient on this one. Something his utility early, which is a good job as the solo anchor. Now here's the Molotov going in. That's going to be the counter molly. Just waste out as much of their utility as you can. Here we're going to see, I was going to say we're going to see the rotation, but I guess the spacing on those nades means that they're not confident this is in. Relaxa is not committing to this at all. Now they move in. FREDDyFROG gets a little tag up damage, albeit not a kill this time through smoke. And they've gone quiet. Virtus.Pro have realized that the Swedish side is playing on echolocation, and they need to be very silent as they step on the other sides of smokes. Working out for them. Spam's coming back in. FREDDyFROG might get a kill here. He's trying for it. Draken is actually the one to find a kill elsewhere on the map. Bomb will be planted, but FREDDyFROG still here as a nuisance. And he's going to cause them to croak one after another. Now just MICHU, who's got to work with a lot of CT presence coming in. Direction takes an aggressive angle on the edge of smoke and has now worked his way through it. To be fair, this is bold play from MICHU, and early results are favorable, but peeking into an op going to be a little less favorable. He is going to be dropped, the round will be claimed, and Japaleno, they do get another one on the board.
Yeah, and you can see why, again, talk about that pick-based Counter-Strike. This time around, they're the ones that are able to get the opener with no casualties for it, and they just play around that completely. You know, even if I feel at that point, even if Freddy had gone 1-for-1 when he actually picked up the 2K from Coffins, they still have that man advantage, pretty solid man advantage that they can work with, right? And I think that's all they're after, is getting the man advantage, let them have the bomb down. Especially at this point, it doesn't matter so much about kind of the economy game and trying to keep them down, blah, blah, blah. It's just about getting them on the board. But BP have definitely tapped in, right? If that lurk from Vegi, I think, goes, you know, successfully, he finds Draken, then the whole round is thrown for a loop. Because Draken's that one man that's kind of guarding the lurk. If he goes down, there's two players trapped in on A. There's not enough in the form of freddieb to get anything done. So it is still quite a risky kind of play style that they're going for. And I think they will have learned their lesson once again about kind of overstacking, really wanting the A stack to work. Either way, they're going to go rushing in towards this B bomb site once again. Slightly different on the smokes this time around, actually. And Relaxa gets caught completely off guard by that. It's not quite a CT smoke, but it blocks out the site players. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, but it works beautifully. They lose one man, they pick up two, they get a bomb plant here, and tabz is around. But once again, with Draken's positioning, are they looking to just save because they have a disadvantage?
I mean, you really... looking at the money, they really would like to be able to save. I think they're going for this timid thing where they're going to have tabz pushed up, and tabz is going to see if he can get a pick at this point, but if he can't, the other two may not follow him into the breach. So this is a good spot for tabz. He's starting to work his way forward now. There's likely going to die as a result. Catches the pit player. You can't imagine he gets more. He does indeed, a 2K. Now they've got to go for it. Time's too low, though. They can't do it. They don't have the utility or the resources unless there's an instant kill. The time is just not their friend. That was a really nice attempt from tabz. And MICHU is going to get his ankles tickled, and the bomb will kill him as a result. But it is ultimately going to be another round for the Polish pack.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it is costly. But it's not like the money matters massively. Maybe if they lose this one, they'll be forced onto an eco, but, you know, or some kind of a half buy, something along those lines. It's kind of difficult to tell without bomb plants. It's all conjecture, but ultimately it's another round going their way. And my question is, where is that flash earlier on? Speaking of flashes, quick one comes in from MICHU. He finds an opening frag. A fast, aggressive play down mid. Doesn't work out. The pick-based Counter-Strike. Japaleno are just banging their heads against this wall. It's only worked once in the past, what, 9 rounds? So, I think maybe 8 rounds, because Virtus.Pro got the pistol. But all the same, it's really not that successful, and they're just getting desperate at this point, I think.
What I really like that Virtus.Pro is doing to check this playstyle, this pick-based aggressive playstyle from Japaleno, is they're going for an aggressive counter to one of 3 different pushes every round, right? They're like, all right, we're either going to check the apps push, because they've been doing that. That time they send a player flying into Mexico to check the aggressive play, which happens to work out beautifully. They've been checking the aggressive banana play. I mean, this time they're just dismantling the ESEA defense. They've already won this round. Draken's falling back off of it. Tag low. He's not even going to be able to escape. Just the taps through smoke. Eventually find him as he tries to get out of the library, finding the timing. So this round is over and done. FREDDyFROG's job is to retrieve the AWP and get out of there. Can't even really cross in front of it. There was this flash he could have picked up, but the big green gun is the object of his affection, so he will withdraw. It's going to be a 9th round for Virtus.Pro, and they've set themselves up quite nicely to get to double digits by the end of this half, because they've just limited this utility or this economy from Japaleno going forward again and again and again, and we're going to see it again. So, early save, 9th round. VP looking very good. Japaleno disjointed, confused. They're getting checked on their aggression, and then they're not having an answer in terms of adjustment on the other side. It's not a really good look. There's not a lot that we've seen that seems that they're going to be able to adjust to what's going on here.
Yeah, it is definitely worrisome, right? And again, comes down to that once the rifles have come into play, this score is kind of deceiving. It has been very, very heavily in favor of the T side. Imagine if they cleanly convert the pistol, right? How dominant this game would actually be. Oh, yeah. So I think the next couple rounds, without a doubt, goes without saying, they are going to need to find them. FREDDyFROG, though, not the best of starts for him. He tries to return some utility, but unfortunately is bitten back. 71 points of damage, and he's not even seen an enemy yet. So the issues continue to stack for the Swedes. They're kind of like, right, let's see what we can change up. And it's just not working out. Perfect flash comes in. Snax is on the edge of the smoke, ready for it. Finds the frag. There's also still FREDDyFROG on low HP, right? But yeah, just another opening for Virtus.Pro. And it just completely counters the way that Japaleno are playing. You know, how do we get back into this? We've got a disadvantage. That's our whole game plan on the CT side. Just get an advantage, play patiently, and work off of that. We saw it work in that one round, but since then, and pretty much for the entire half, it just hasn't. The tag comes through onto snatchie, but draken going to go down. Snax is a beast on the Krieg. Clapping heads, picked up all 3 kills so far for this round, and probably going to be the only kills for this round as well. tabz is nearby, does get 1, but he's left on 6 HP. He wants to get out of there. I think he might just successfully. There is snatchie lurking on the other side of the map, but he's pretty low himself. However, it's another round for Virtus.Pro. The domination continues, and 11 rounds definitely looking more and more likely.
This pick. That's all that mattered there. That was all he wanted to find, was that one pick. He knows where the other is as well. Oh, spot at the head. Doesn't realize it. There we go. freddieb has him. I don't know quite what's happening there, but pattern recognition wasn't there yet. It's all going to be freddieb, and they're going to devote all 3 players just to digging him out of position. Knows the molly's coming in, has the smoke prepped, but is that enough to save his life? Finds the first. CHR getting maybe a little bit bold. Going to be next to follow him into the grave, and it's just left a veggie. Ooh, it's dancing around, but at least this AUG will be surviving. That's pretty much all you can say. It'll help them get a full buy up here, but as you said, 11 rounds looking promising. Even in the rounds that Japaleno won in this half, there was a lot of lucky kills, to be quite frank. Flash timing kills, kills through smokes, things working out their way that you just can't bank on consistently. And taking those risks, obviously, is part of their playstyle and a good part of their playstyle, but it's tough when you need to rely on them. Utility in, draken somehow completely untouched by all of it, is just going to get a pick and fade away. It's almost like they gave him a wall of fire in front of him to protect him, and he turned that into a frag. So nicely done from draken. That might be the start they need to get to 5 at the very least in this half. But Virtus.Pro now into the A take. It's a bit of a spread defense from Japaleno. They're ready to move whichever way they see fit. And Virtus.Pro have hit the brakes.
We'll see here. They've got to come back, right? They lost the last time this happened, using a lot of utility on A, and well, Japaleno, especially with the position that they're in, are not afraid to just over-rotate in places. Not going to be an over-rotation for this one, not going to be an aggressive rotation at all. 2 players in on the site. This is going to be hard to get through, honestly. They've kept it even, 2v2. However, Relaxa is nearby very quickly indeed. Oh, and that bomb is in such an awkward spot. Veggie kind of has to jump back up, has to try and retrieve it. Will indeed be able to do so, but careful on the plant here. If he goes too open, all right, he's not going to go open at all. Relaxa will not be able to find him, but has been given an awful lot of time to just clear all these angles, play it safe, play it smart. Convinced there's someone in pit, but MICHU is in somewhat of an odd angle. Is this planted for him? I can't quite tell, to be honest. There is a kit available for Relaxa. It's not really planted for him, is it? He spots out the first. Oh, the second is a quick flick, though. And this is where it becomes troublesome. Draken has tapped the bomb, but he's got no kit. MICHU is just playing the absolute mind games at the moment. He will manage to retrieve a kit. MICHU's got to go for the swing. It's going to be close. Oh, my goodness. He was so very close. He actually got it. He actually got it. Okay. Well, I hadn't quite noticed because I was watching from MICHU's perspective. And I was getting ready to say that stand up, you know, is the end of the animation. Wow, that must have literally been like 0.1 of a second.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Incredibly close, He scraped it through, getting the kit. Obviously, the move there. So nicely done to clutch out one final round for Japaleno to give them something to work with. Still, it's troubling. And I honestly would say, based on the style they were going for, a lot of their successful rounds on the CT side were based off of the sort of surprise aggression from the CTs. It's a little tricky to make that work on the T side when they're anticipating what you're going to be doing. So we're going to see. Japaleno, maybe they're just going to bulldog through and really tear it up. But this is going to be tough, and they've got no cushion to work with. They are really going to be backed against the wall. It'll be interesting to see if we get a mirror from the first half. Obviously, it was the Virtus.Pro side that won the pistol, but they prompted on the second round. And it's a question of whether Japaleno can repeat that, or if they're just going to make life easy and go for that pistol kill right off the bat.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe the style that they're employing will work out a little more for their T side here, the Swedes. They're definitely, I think, going to need to start with this pistol and then not copy what their opponents did and get it cleanly and bring it to within, you know, 2 or 3 rounds. But we'll see here. They're going for a B stack and a B boost, actually, which is a B double boost? No, okay, they're just both wanting to boost God snacks, apparently. Either way, Draken's on his P250. That's the one thing for me on the Japaleno side of things. Looks like it is going to be an A hit, but freddieb just goes barreling straight out. MICHU's got a good opportunity to find a few here. Will eventually go down, but snatchie is nearby. Trades it back, 4v2 very quickly indeed, and now some B aggression coming in. freddiFROG was meant to be this kind of thorn in the side of the rotators, saying, yo, I've got banana control, but not really. Ends up getting taken down, and now there's 3 CTs on the way. This would be a hell of a round from Relaxa. Does get the first cleanly, but immediately traded back. So Virtus.Pro, they get the pistol. Now it becomes extra trouble for that T side.
Interesting little detail I noted in there. snatchie had the P2K equipped, but he dropped it to pick up his teammate's USP, which just raises the question, why don't you just equip the USP? But those are the deeper philosophical questions we'll need to ponder going forward. Still, pistol round 1. That's obviously the most important factor. Now Virtus.Pro just has to keep it clean this time around, and if they do, this should be a pretty easy path laid out to a round win for them. And this is a round win that or a game win that they desperately need, because they are 1-4 in the MDL right now. It's been a tough start to the season. This is kind of a fix your path game. And this is going to be nice. Vegi just getting 2. They're sitting in the flames. He's mowing him down with the MP9. Now a 3rd kill with the SMG. Going to leave everything on towards Relaxa. This is a nice mop-up round. Get that economy healthy. Get 3 SMG kills out of it. MICHU taking 2 to boot. Getting yourself on towards the 12th round without dropping a single body. Virtus.Pro is now feeling very fine to just go ahead and take the easy cruise, put this into cruise control, and take it right down the highway to a nice dub.
Yeah, pretty much. It's looking good, isn't it? Couple more hurdles lie in front of them. Meanwhile, Japaleno are going to have to, you know, pull it out of the bag, really pick up the speed here if they are to catch up. Banana control does go the way it appears of the T side, but then I don't think VP had really dedicated to it too much. Snax, yeah, watch out going around that corner. PHR is up close with this MP9, but can't really do an awful lot to find the quick trades. The best he can hope for is an escape, which is, you know, certainly facilitated. He also gets himself an upgrade. But ultimately, it's an opening pick for Japaleno. Now, we've been singing the praises of when they do open up, they tend to convert the rounds. It was only 2 rounds that they did convert with the openers, and one of them was so very close. But this is what we've been talking about. This is what we've been leading up to. They've been given their chance. They've been given a way in. Question is, can they hold on to this lead? Can they secure the round off the back of it? They've split the CT defense. They look set to be moving in towards B here, although lacking a little bit in the utility. Not massively. They've got those 2 key smokes that they need, but the Molotovs and only the 1 flashbang could certainly be a bit of a problem. But we'll see. It's a passive kind of hold. PHR will manage to find the first. A great flash comes in from MICHU, however, and he picks up 2. Veggie was close by. It is absolutely shut down. That is beautiful stuff from VP. Relaxa on the other side of the map. He does his job. He cuts off the rotator, but unfortunately, he's got 3 more to find with only 25 seconds, you know, to barge up the B-bomb site or come from CT. He doesn't fancy it. Gonna save. And Japaleno, it all falls apart off the back of a fantastic flashbang. And that's what I was talking about. The lack of utility. You don't really have anything to blind them up initially or to force them out of position initially, so the CTs can just respond however they want.
Whoever made that call on Virtus.Pro to set up in that way, really, I don't know whether that was Cuban or whether that was someone in the server or in the actual player slot, but that was the perfect setup because they completely banked on that play, right? They left 1 player towards arches just to check the lurker because they knew that lurker was eventually going to come through. They rotated everyone else back through, and they were set up exactly for that banana take. So very nicely done in anticipation from Virtus.Pro, and obviously very nicely executed as well, even if you have the best setup in the world. Doesn't matter if you can't execute. FREDDyFROG tossing out some executions right here. It's going to be a second as well for Draken, so maybe a little bit of danger here. It's gotten a bit friskier than Virtus.Pro was anticipating. The bomb is still dropped towards T-steps, and Draken is sticking his toe out of the smoke will lose the rest of his body as well. So it's just going to be FREDDyFROG on 24 health, no armor. He's going to get the bomb, and he has a minute 15 to work with. But that's really all you can say in his favor. He's got to rumble towards the site. He's got no utility to cover himself off. He's got 1 bullet basically from death from any of these guns. As soon as they find him, he is going to be annihilated. And look at the setup from Virtus.Pro. They're so passive on it. They are so passive on it. PHR, at this point, they're just banking on the fact that he has no utility to cover this off.
Yeah.
Although, if he win apartments, he could get a bomb plant for free here. So this is an interesting setup to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe reading into the fact, the way that you like to play Inferno as a player, I think B can tend to be a little easier because when you're clearing the site itself, in a situation 1vx, when you're clearing the site, you can, look into a lot of headshot angles, and there you go, right? You can spin around and isolate angles a lot easier. Whereas if you're jumping out of apartments into pit, there's like 2 or 3 angles that immediately are going to be trained on you. We'll see here. He's actually pushed into construction as well, so could catch off another couple of players. Here's them coming in. Quite obviously, they've got kits, they've got the mollies, they've got a smoke for banana, let's say, but they're opting not to go for it, which makes sense because they surely would have seen him. Smoke going to go down onto it. Freddy finds head of 1. Veggie's holding this, though. Veggie's holding this, and unfortunately, Freddy has made the wrong call. It will be the round going the way of VP, but that is very close considering the buy. And that's going to come back to the point that I was going to make anyway about that round. I think someone, on the VP side's gone, I think they're on eco this round, guys. And everyone's gone, did someone say eco? And they've just, peeked mid and tried to, pad the stats. And unfortunately, it's kind of come back to haunt them in a big way, to be fair, considering the buy that was there. If Japaleno win this one, they're going to completely break this economy.
Speaking of which, that's a nice pick to get started, but Snatchie's got one of his own. Great answer. So Frags is coming backwards and forwards for the AWPs on either side, keeping this a little bit close. So now they know that Snatchie's here as a threat, although he may have moved off. They're going to hold some banana control and just kind of sit on it to switch side off. Relaxa making a little bit of inroads towards the apartment, just looking for a free pick, seeing if anyone's going to get a little antsy and come knocking on his door. Not going to happen as of yet, so we'll go ahead and fade off to presumably join his teammates. And to be honest, provided they have a single smoke here, which they do, they've got smokes and Molotovs aplenty, this is probably going to be a pretty solid take. And if Snatchie drops without a trade, because of the economy we saw from last round where they lost so many bodies they didn't need to, you wind up in a situation where maybe it's just going to be a save from Virtus.Pro. They have a massive cushion to work with. To be fair, they are 9 rounds ahead of their opponent. So there is a lot of room left to rumble. Snatchie, it really comes down to this angle. If he takes this first pick, if he gets 2, then they're in it. In it to win it. He's going to smoke that out to try and indicate that there's a player back by the new box. A little bit of a tricky play, but they're actually up and under him, and I don't think they've bought. I think they saw where that smoke came from, and they've now cleared out the angle. So sight has fallen. This is, in fact, going to be an early save call. Veggie, Snax, and PHR just going to keep what they've got, keep it alive. And it is going to be a 6th round for Japaleno. So it took them a while, but they have got one on the board in the second half. They've got some signs of life here.
Yeah, albeit faint. Not quite believing in the full resuscitation just yet. But given a bit more time, you know, definitely possible. But ultimately, yeah, it's just kind of a case of a miss stack, as you were sort of alluding to, in a sense. It was all down to that solo warp. Maybe if he'd have been aggressive in banana, holding the angle to see them all coming, they could have, you know, rotated across kind of thing. But because that is not the case at all, they just like to play it safe. And that's where, you know, sure, getting aggressive for your eco frags, getting aggressive to pad the stats somewhat comes back to bite you, right? They've given a round away now. And it's not the end of the world, but it could definitely be the start of something from Japaleno. And you never know, this Virtus.Pro team, they need to hit the 15, and then I think they can feel a bit more confident, really.
Lots of mollies over towards Banana. Veritable Inferno over there. The stack here from Virtus.Pro, they are hedging 4 players towards A. We saw this quite a bit out from Japaleno in their own half, where they just leave the 1 player towards B, but Virtus.Pro doesn't seem as confident in that decision. They're going to keep sliding this player back, and Japaleno, as of yet, hasn't committed any which way. They've got 2 players in towards apartments, so that might sort of tip their hands as to what they want to do, and that does seem like they're condensing on towards this A take. Snatchie wants to contest it over towards the lane, and he's got some presence towards the arch as well. There's the flash, there's the swing as a result. Bold play, only a 1 spur, but MICHU is on the scene with 3. That's the bomb dash, that's the round dashed as well. freddieb left to try and pick up the pieces, but 40 seconds on the clock, all in his lonesome, no more utility to play with, and 4 Virtus.Pro players to contend with. This is a challenge. This is a hopeless situation, and this is almost certainly going to be match point for VP.
Yeah, well, and just as I said it, right, this kind of comeback scenario on the other side of things, on the Japaleno side of things, is all about keeping them away from 15 rounds for as long as possible, right? Because it's your 1, maybe 2 in some scenarios, you know, where it's like 13, whatever. It's that 1 round that you have to make a mistake, and the longer you can keep it away. If it's 14-14, you take it to overtime, I think you'll be okay with that, right? Because of how far back you actually were. However, the fact that it's happened pretty much immediately is definitely a problem. You can buy back up into this one, you know, you got a chance at getting another, but you've got to get 9 in a row. No mistakes at all moving forwards, which, with the way that the game has been going, you know, some of these rifle rounds that they've won, and I say some, there's 3, you know, have been down to the luck in a sense. And some of their earlier rounds they won as well, down to the luck in a sense, or the mistakes of your opponents, not necessarily. You know, we've seen some good rounds from VP where they've had a man disadvantage, and it's been like, wow, really good setup, great flashbang, great choice. Japaleno, I don't think we've quite said the same thing about them in the way that they have been winning their rounds, if that makes sense. You know, it has been, a nice individual step up, or getting really lucky because of a mistake that someone on the VP side made. So it's kind of hard to say that they're going to go 9 rounds without making a mistake. I hate to kind of, you know, be super negative about it, but I think it is going to be tough for them.
It would certainly be a surprise to us, as well as I suspect to them at this point if it happened. Looks like they do want to group up for this A take, though. You're absolutely right, though. Most of these round wins have come down to insane individual performances. We had the 1v3 clutch I mean, it's been a little bit of luck in the ones that they've taken. FREDDyFROG, though, is going to get an opening pick here. Again, individual play, just the lurker finding something, but he does quickly get dealt with. Now it's a take on towards B. There's a player up on the flower pot. It's going to play first oranges. See what they can find. Here is not going to be any kind of flower pot pick. Have to get something here. PHR is just good for one, though, before he's dusted off. This could be a round win, especially as Draken boosted up, does claim one. Vegi is just going to save. Virtus.Pro says, all right, fine. Get 7. Get 7 rounds. That's fine. We'll be all right. We'll try again next time. Honestly, next time might actually be an eco as well. Not sure how much money they're going to devote to this. They do have such a round cushion to play with that they can really have the luxury of picking their battles, picking their fights, choosing the optimal situation to get through. And this one, for the time being, does go towards the spicy pepper side.
Yeah, for the time being the ultimate caveat to it. We'll see whether it continues, right? I think it might just for a couple rounds here, like you say, the money not great. This is how you possibly open the door. They could, if Vegi drops across, it'd only be like one player on a weak weapon. But this is how you really do give the opportunity across to your opponents. You know, you buy up into a round like this, very broken buy, especially on a map like Inferno, where it's paramount to have the utility on that CT side, at least in the early stages, to kind of give some presence, right? So you're not giving things away completely for free. But they are going to play it safe, right? I'm going to deny any momentum, and a nice clean opener from tabz coming in. He did take some nade damage for it, but yeah, Vegi on the corner, hoping to do exactly that to a couple players. Not going to be the case. They will find a trade here in the apartments, but does MICHU actually get to save this? He's going to go moving forward straight into Relaxa. Was hoping that there was no one there. He could pull off a quick flank on B, blah, 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 but not going to be the case. And Japaleno looks set to get an 8th, and not only an 8th, but also a clean 8th round on the board here. So, yeah, it's now just kind of a question, I think, of eliminating snax and making sure he cannot save this Krieg. But I was just about to say, give the respect across, because all things considered, that Krieg on the glass cannon is not terrible. He will go for a peek straight into Draken, though, who was holding the crack, who was ready for it. And I think the day might just have been saved. PHR, you know, he got his one, and it was looking for just a second that things might swing in the favor of Virtus.Pro, but that might is completely out the window, right? Where it went from maybe like a 50% chance. They deal with snax, they get the bomb down. It's now kind of like a 5% chance, to be honest, and he's not even going to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just keeping this Krieg alive for the CT side, barring any... Oh, he's got a chicken on the floorboards. Chicken in the floorboards alert, folks. You've had rats in your floors and ceilings before, but have you had chickens? Call Inferno Extermination Services today to get your floor chickens out of there. That is... that's a new one. I don't think I've ever seen the chickens enter the floorboards. Maybe it's a ghost chicken.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't think I have either. I don't know how that would happen. I guess it must have just been like the way they spawn at the start of the round has just messed up. So I don't think like, right, I don't think you can put them in the floor, if that makes sense, by like, I don't know, guiding them through an angle or kicking them or whatever. I don't think you as a player can actually do that.
PHR wanted to make sure we noticed the floor chicken. He knew we'd be watching him. But, I mean, honestly, just keeping the Krieg alive here, it's such a powerful weapon on the CT side. It's been discussed from a lot of pros in the meta where they say that really the only negative aspect of buying the Krieg as a T is that if you give it CTs, it's even better for them.
Yeah.
Nice nade through. Look at this utility damage.
Oh
Fred
my goodness.
Wimping from the get-go, and he hasn't even seen anybody. This is so tough now. Japaleno, we've been talking about how all it's going to take is really one mistake, one missed round, one loss of an early pick, and that's definitely not a good start. Draken now testing his luck out towards the apartment. Snatchie is just waiting to snatch this kill out. He's on the tag, that's going to prompt him to chase the frag, and that's really going to sell his life. Vegi, the sacrificial lamb, doesn't even have to die to convert this kill. That's really nicely done, and now Japaleno decidedly on the back foot into this round. But it's a nice way to draw it back.
Yeah, but just kind of, I suppose I'll hold the point because it looks like they're moving straight in here off the back of that frag, and rightly so. Rightly so indeed. Cleanly eliminating the players on A there. It was looking dicey right after, and the point I was going to make, after that early utility, it's all about when we talked about in the round previous, where it's like, well, they could buy up here, it'd be very broken. The utility would be nice to have. They prove exactly why it's nice to have, because they used it brilliantly. If they'd have found that first frag, this could have been a very different story. So the fact that Freddy survives on 7 HP, again, Japaleno kind of lucky. Kind of lucky in that sense, to be honest with you. Because I feel like if they'd have found the first frag, they maybe leave like snax with the AWP or whatever on B by himself and then rotate PHR into that arch CT position so that he can help out on A. But it's not the case, so they're unsure. It's like, oh, has our utility actually done damage? Are they actually there? Are they going to come B later? Or are they going A? I don't really know. And that guessing, that unsurety is their demise on the VP side. So Japaleno getting kind of close. A couple more rifle rounds and you really do start to believe in them.
Yeah. There's a hint of a chance. As we talked about, I still don't fancy their chances to get through this without making a mistake. Obviously, that round, it kind of got close. It was a little bit shaky for Comfort. Chasing the frag out on towards balcony from Draken was a very risky play. Or it's fortunate for him that they were able to bring this back. Snax is going to eat a fat nade right there. Bit of damage dunked up. It is going to be the gamble stack, though, and I like this decision from Virtus.Pro. You either wind up in a situation where you can give yourself the best chance to get the kills, or you wind up in a situation where you give yourself the best chance to save these two guns. And that is really the objective here. Either they come into B, and you absolutely shred them, or they don't, and you've got an op and a creep to play with them next. Looks like A is going to be the choice, so they've chosen correctly. Japaleno likely going to get a free round off the back of this, and so then we do enter into the realm of possibilities. Sort of when you hit double digits is where you start to believe in this comeback, that it would be 5 rounds in a row for the Japaleno side, and it's looking like they might be able to continue it. So, free bomb plant. Just going to send FREDDyFROG out to hunt a little bit. And the round just give it away. Ooh. Okay, good trade. Snax dies out in the open. No one is looking towards CT, but PHR will at least be able to grab that kill. So they're going to keep the AWP alive, and that's really all that matters
here. Yeah, I mean, maybe not looking too good, right? Because they take out that first defender, and they are on the hunt here. So important. Oh, snatchie though. I mean, he's clean on it, right? He's good on it. He'll take down one. And I think ultimately they don't want to eliminate too many rifles. I'm not sure. Was that a CT smoke that went down there to keep them back as well, which is kind of nice.
I believe so.
Yeah. So looking good, right? Looking good in that sense. However, Japaleno are definitely getting this confidence, getting this momentum rolling. They keep it moving. If they keep it going, it could be somewhat problematic. As he said, that double digits is where you start to regain a bit of belief, perhaps, as a fan of the Swedish side. We'll see here. Everything, once again, available for VP. It's a fast hit towards Banana. They're not really ready for it either. FREDDyB going to find PHR with a Molotov in hand. It keeps them back. It keeps them away from snax at the very least, but he's not got a lot to deal with really either. No scope for him, only on the A1S. He does now have a teammate in the form of MICHU, but it's a weakened defense. And Japaleno, again, finding an advantage. And Draken's patience, he's been sat there all round. It pays off perfectly. As snatchie was trying to catch someone, not going to work. 5v3. And well, now they're unsure. Look at this, eh? The rotation coming through. Is this a call to kind of save and get out of there? Or is it an actual fully fledged rotation? I think it's kind of a bit of both, because snax himself is in somewhat of a passive position. Another smoke going to go down onto the angle. Is he going to get the Krieg? No?
Doesn't want to give the audio cue, I don't think.
Maybe not, to be fair. That's a good point, actually. All the same, he gets another smoke is the key thing. So I think they're kind of convinced here on the T side that there could be quite a few people. 35 seconds left. Are they going to rotate back? I don't think so. And it's going to work out. You know, their patience, once again, it pays off. This is what they go for. They find an opening pick, and then you just wind the clock down and don't actually go anywhere. There's no mind games when you're actually, you know, like, we're going B. We got to pick B. We've told you we're going B. That's what we're going to do. And you know, the CTs just don't believe you, man. So 5-on-3, the save coming in for VP.
I do like the idea, though, from Virtus.Pro, even though it doesn't work off here. Basically, they say, we're going to try and fake that there are as many players on B as we can. They've just gotten a pick on towards A. That was Draken, who was, you know, waiting for that mid-aggression to come through, catches it. For a lot of teams, that would prompt you to hit A. That would prompt the rotation. That would prompt you to pull off. So Virtus.Pro decides to take the gamble, and I can respect that. It doesn't work out here. And this is starting to get to a little bit of nervous territory here, right? This would not be the first time we've seen teams throw away a situation. They're actually going to stash the AWP behind the log pile to make sure nobody can get it in this round. And here's the hunt. They're putting the pressure on. Can these three players survive? Definitely not snax. Second player to drop, and they are all gone. Clean sweep. There's nothing there to be saved for the CTs, and at this point, this might prompt a sort of half by eco round. And we are starting to get to very dangerous territory. The Polar squad is sweating. The bear is starting to look a little uneasy. They go all in. I hate this call.
Yeah, I think we're both kind of in the same. We've talked about it a bit. They made some really smart economic decisions early on when they had a good lead, but now they're feeling desperate. They're feeling forced. They're feeling like they have to do something, right? They have to keep fighting back. They can't give too much room, too much of that momentum across to Japaleno. It is sort of like an 80-20 call. I feel like most of the time you're going to be calling to save. Sometimes you call to force, and even then sometimes the force is going to work. It's not a fully fledged play. It's yeah, definitely going to be hard considering the number of SMGs. Maybe could have gone for some more rifles, but then you lack the utility. It's kind of what do you do, right? Where do you go? And that's why, generally speaking, as spectators, as pundits of the game, you're never really a big fan of something like this, because just wait one more round. They have done some good utility damage early on, though. So
Yeah,
that could definitely help out for these SMGs.
Remember, there was that really strange buy in the first half where on the T side, Virtus.Pro bought 5 SMGs and just went for all of the utility in the world. So they've made it work once before. They made that round work, despite all logic saying that it should not. So maybe there's a chance here. It's really going to come down to snatching this AWP, and he's very passive. They are moving his direction, though, and this is the big threat in the round. It's a strange angle to take to be quite splashed out, and now dropped as his body's falling. They can't get anything done. Snatchie will be run down with no result, and that is the round lost entirely. I mean, just annihilated on entry. It's a super contained defense from the CTs. Everyone's in the same position. So all it takes is one flash to really ruin their setup. And Virtus.Pro, this is now getting to very risky territory. They bet the farm on this round, and it was not a good bet. It's 2 players trying to survive. snax is just saving an MP9. PHR at least has a rifle to play with. But this is going to be 12, presumably 13 rounds for Japaleno. And it's starting to run out of chances to close this in regulation here.
Yeah, there goes the M4 as well. But ultimately, it's just kind of crossed wires. They really needed a lot to go right for them there. They needed a lot to be in their favor, and it's just not the case. You know, snatchie misses his shot. Also, the 2 of the 3 angles that they were in are very easily sort of pre-fireable. At the very least, you know, relatively easy to pre-aim. It's not like you need to be directly lined up on the head to get the kill sort of thing. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan. Maybe playing more around pit, I think, could have been smarter, but then you can't really contest for long. You have to let them come to you, and in theory, eventually they overwhelm you, but you never know. Crazier things have happened from pit, for sure. I just feel like on site, like you say, that one flash, even if it only blinds up one of the 3, they're so close together that they need everybody to be working in tandem, and it's just not the case. So they've taken a pause. They've gone for the eco here that they should have gone for in the previous round. You know, hate to say I told you so, but I really don't with the way that they, oh my goodness, had fought in the previous round. That is so much nade damage coming in from tabz entirely, I think. He'll find himself a couple frags to open up. Maybe going to get some more later on in the round, if not an assist onto snatchie at the very least. So VP this round where they'd gone for the B rush, not going to work out. PHR's still around with his 5-7 and does drop Freddy. The lurker on the other side of the map, but with him being on the other side of the map, I think the bomb plant should be fairly easy. There we go, Relaxa. He finds it eventually in a bit of an odd spot. But yeah, now that they've got this AK, I think it's just a case of protect the AK into the next round. So it should be a 13th and... well, one more rifle round. I think we'll pretty much do it here in this game. Virtus.Pro have got to close it out in the next one, otherwise we're probably going to overtime.
Not what we expected. It was what, 15-5? Once upon a time, 15-6?
I think 6. Yeah, 15-6.
Quite the run back by the Swedes. A little bold from Draken here. There's really no benefit to this. I mean, I guess you take the one AK out from PHR, but they're going to buy in the next. Giving them an op would actually be an impediment. So he is going to go ahead and fade back, let tabz be the aggressive player, and that's a little bit of a better call here. Still, Japaleno clearly feeling it at this point. They are feeling fresh, feeling frisky. There's the footsteps coming his direction. PHR, don't peek. Okay, it's not going to be tempted into it. That fatalistic attempt to get one more frag on the board in the kill column. So we're going to have a very solid buy here. Here's the last attempt. Here's the last hurrah. PHR has money in the bank. MICHU as well, so they'll be able to get something to contest for last round if it comes down to it. But they would very much like to end things here and now, give themselves the absolute best chance of carrying it through. Because otherwise, they're going to be outclassed. They're going to be outgunned. They're going to be significantly outmatched. And this has already gone on long enough. This has just been utter madness. Japaleno, knowing that their opponents are desperate, are just going to hang back for a little bit. Let those early rounds of utility go out and then trade their own nades back. Snax and freddieb saying a quick hello to each other. And that doesn't need any translation. Those nades make their intentions clear. Now a mass up. It seems like they're hedging towards A just because we haven't really seen them take any top banana control. But freddieb, bold play, just walks out through a smoke as it fades. He now has at least a bit of control in case they want to rotate off.
The two Freddies have been pretty bold, I have to be honest. They're going for this, again, heavy area setup, right? One molly ruins it. There's MICHU is forced out, gets taken down. It was kind of vegi and snatchie being nearby. But again, now they've got to try and recover it back. They've also got to try and recover it back with a low HP player. To be fair, on either side of things, they're pretty low. Flash goes in. Vegi not able to get the spray down. Looking worse and worse. The B bomb site seems to be the site of choice. They're hoping to have drawn some rotations. I mean, it's not quite the case, as they're just banking on it, aren't they, VP? They are hoping they come into them. PHR and snax, though, not been having the best of games between them. 8 frags apiece, I believe. About to try and number it up, and it's looking pretty good. 3v2, bomb's gone down. It's in an awkward spot. Draken ends up getting taken out as well. 15 seconds left. Tabz on 9 HP. It's all fallen apart at the very final hurdle. You needed one more round, Japaleno. Wow. It's all you needed, and you would have broken the economy again. Probably.